August is Black Business Month, and I'm so excited to introduce you to this unique Black-owned business, a gaming company. Yes, IAS Games was created by Tanisha Hall back in 2017. She built this company based on her love of board games and love of the Black culture, and she mixed it all into one. Please welcome to the show, Tanisha Hall. Thank you so much for being here, Tanisha.
Thank you so much.
You also go by Queen It Shall Be.
Yes.
You're a very positive light,
Yes.
and I really appreciate that by you. You're just a ray of sunshine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here today. What was missing? This is pretty unique, first of all. This is something you created. Before we get into the type of game and how you play it, I want to know your story and your background. How did you even get to this point? I've never met anyone who has created board games, so this is pretty cool.
Well, before I did it, I didn't meet anybody either. But I am originally from Brooklyn, New York, and growing up in the 80s in Brooklyn, I loved board games. My family would play Monopoly and chess all the time. I wasn't good at chess, but I loved playing board games, and I would make my own out of like loose leaf paper and make my own pieces and draw my own boards and stuff like that. And when I got older, I never really let it go. Our family has a ton of board games in the house, but I noticed after a while that I was imagining what characters on board games would look like if they looked like me. And that was what led me, after unfortunately losing my job at the time, that's what led me to want to start my own business and create games. I wanted to give that light to other people, and games are fun. Board games are a good time.
And yours is unique though, because they're especially and specifically made to honor the Black culture, and you said it's something that was so important. You didn't see characters that look like you in these games. So when it comes to your inspiration behind creating them, what type of games do you create?
I create games that'll get anybody at the table talking across each other or laughing, anything that it just brings out and supports laughter among Black people. I want to put on a board game so we can roll the dice and move around and get into character and just have a good time. I'm really big on positivity and actively being positive.
That's the key.
Yes.
Not just talking about it, but actually doing it. And you have different themes for your board games as well, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about a few, then we'll jump into the one we're looking at.
Okay, well, I have board games that are inspired by Black sitcoms, specifically because I love to laugh. I love comedies.
Do you have a Martin one?
Not yet.
Okay, you gotta get one, Tanisha, because you and we gotta meet up and play that one.
I know, and that's such an iconic show, but that's what I do. I go for iconic shows, iconic movies, and original content, things that are iconic to us, like cookouts and cookout games. I also have cards, because I do tabletop games, that are dedicated to teaching people how to play spades. So
it teaches you how to play.
Yeah,
Tanisha,
we're releasing that very
We're gonna
soon.
have, listen, I'm gonna be your first customer. I'm tired of sitting in the corner looking, trying to figure out what's going on.
And I know, and then when you wanna learn, someone doesn't really wanna teach you, so I wanted to have a fun and inviting way for people, because I don't want people scared of spades. Like,
yeah, that's me. I'm that person. I still don't know. I still don't know, but that's pretty neat. I love that. So what we're looking at right now, this is amazing too, because this is a classic in all households, A Different World.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. Tell me about this board game, because the specifics of it, I can already see that you put a lot of time into it.
I did. So I always wanted to go to a HBCU, didn't get to, so I went vicariously through A Different World. And when I was developing my first game, I wanted to give honor to someplace that I really wanted to go, and I watched it like 1,000 times. You know, baby, please. You know, so I wanted to make a game where we could play as the characters from the show. So the object is to make it from the season premiere to the season finale out of debt, basically.
Yeah.
And it goes through different spaces of collecting a salary, paying rent. You get to look at some event cards that talk about some of the things that happened in the show and answer trivia questions as well. And
and the questions are related to the shows,
yes.
right?
But even if you've never seen the show, you can play the game. I've tested it and proven it. People that have never heard of a Ron Johnson or Walter Oakes have played and won.
Yeah.
And it inspires them to want to go watch the show and learn about A Different World and the iconic ness of Whitley Gilbert's.
Yes.
And Jaleesa was one of my favorites, but Whitley, in my head, me and her are cousins. I just feel it in
Yes.
my heart.
And I'm looking at these cards. This is really specific. You said, what did all the sorority pledges have to call Whitley? Big Sister Almighty, Big Sister Gorgeous One, Big Sister Supreme. So they're very specific to the show. Who tries to make Dwayne jealous by going on a date with Ron? Whitley, Freddie, or Keanu, or Ron's father was what kind of salesman? Automobile, insurance, or electronics? And then you have the dollar amount on it. So
Yes.
this is really specific to the show, but as you mentioned, you can take an educated guess, I
Yes,
guess, if you haven't
absolutely.
watched
Multiple
it.
choice,
But I
yes.
love that you came up with this. I mean, it seems, when you sit down and you create your games, Tanisha, you don't want to give away your secret formula, of course, but how do you even organize yourself to invent this? This is very specific and well thought out. How long did it take you to create this?
It took me about a year and a half, almost 2 years, to fully develop it and get my first prototype together. Actually, my second prototype. My first prototype was foam board that was from my kids' previous projects and Sharpie and construction paper. And then after that, and going online and researching and finding other Black game creators and asking them questions. Thankfully, the community of Black game creators is very, very nice and very giving and supportive. So I got a lot of good information and tips and direction and mentorship to go ahead and go forward and just organize note-taking. Lots and lots of note-taking and drafting.
All righty.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we're going to pause right there. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with more on her board games and just this lovely light of Tanisha. She's going to give us more on how she is not playing by playing with the board games. Okay.